Hello, I'm Gracie Poe, and I've been a member of SAEAS for 29 years, and I'm a past president. It's been a really great art venture for me because I never dreamed after a 30-year with SAEAS, that I would actually be doing something that I was very passionate about. For many years, I was very much into three-dimensional art. And I wanted art that looked like me, kind of represented my ancestry and my ancestors and my heritage, but I could never find any of those kinds of arts back then. That was in the early 60s. Then I can remember my mom and I would take these little trips over to a little ceramic shop on the south side. And that's when I would try to find art pieces that back then you would call have the Negroic features or an African mask that I could create and make it mine. That's when I knew I really wanted to get into the art of three dimension. But had it been that I was working, I just really had no time to do that. So the first thing I did when I retired was to try to find a class that I could just get the basics in. For some reason, I just thought I had the talent. Don't know why, just because of the basic interest, I suppose. But what really amazed me is every time I looked for some art, I could not find it. So I thought, if I can't find it, I can create it. And that's what I did. I took my first course at the Carver with Roland Mazuka, and he was just intrigued. He thought I was just blowing whistles when I said I wanted to do sculpture pieces. So after several classes, he says, okay, why don't you just make me something of your own? And let's see it. So I did. I got my clay out and made my piece. And this is the first piece that I did in that class. And after I finished it, he looked at it and he says, "You're serious about this?" And I told him yes. So he said, well, all I can do is help you with the techniques and the finishing of them. And you're kind of on your own because you have your own natural talent, your own natural style. And I wouldn't want to inhibit that in any way. So that's how I really got started. I really had no formal education, so you can say that I'm self-taught. He gave me all the energy and inspiration I needed to work with the clay. And when I say that he inspired me to work with it, he inspired me to call up what it is that I wanted to do. And again, everything that I was influenced by was naturally connected with African influence. So when I look around at my creations, I'm influenced by a lot of things, a lot of people, a lot of places, but again, it all comes back to an African influence. So researching African masks, which is some of the things I love to do, and then researching what it means and what it means to me, all the symbols and the textures just drive me to do what I do. But the person in history that I most admired and enjoyed was Elizabeth Catlett. Elizabeth Catlett was born in 1915, and lived a long life. She ended up in Mexico. But when she grew up, she was right there in Washington, D.C. area, a very modest and middle income family. And she wanted art. She really wanted to go to one of the larger colleges, but they refused her because she was Black. During the early 1940s, Catlett produced a number of sculptures depicting mother and child. And as you see, the first piece that I did was a mother and child. So that I was drawn to her by that. And she does it in a simple, realistic style, and she shared a similar quest of strength. She works with her graduate school years. During the next decade, Catlett's style moved toward abstractions, defined by smoothly rounded forms and graceful, elegant figures. Although she lived and worked in Mexico, her adopted country, she was still trying to do things that would be for the struggle of African American and African American women in particular. She moved to Mexico and lived with her husband there. So her work then became a mixture of American Mexican type styles. So she is one of the ones that had really inspired me to do my style of work. She devoted her entire artist career to a social conscious art that represents the struggle of African Americans. And I have a few samples of her pictures of work that really spoke to me, and I'll see if you can see them here. I've got them on my kiln in my home studio. These particular ones were some of her more famous pieces. Most of us would know her from her graphics, which shows working women, but these are some of her sculptured pieces that really spoke to me, especially the one here I've done similar, which is called the Faces for Two. But her work is very, very sleek and modernistic, and I like that about her, because when I think about the different masks that I work on, they give you the same kinds of feeling. They're some of the work, and everybody's talking about, of course, what are we doing now in this coronavirus environment? Well, I told you I was inspired by a lot of different people and things and events. My girlfriend called me up and she was talking about how we were spending our time during this period. And she said that she came across something that really spoke to her. And it was about, we're kind of all in this together, and she sent me this picture of a boat with these women. So I was really inspired there. So right now, that is one of the things that I'm working on. I don't know if you can see some of the little ladies that I've got standing up. I'm not quite finished with them. I'm still working on that process of getting them all together. It's going to be 12 women in a boat. And of course, in this particular season and environment, it is. We're all in this boat together. The other piece that I've been working on during the coronavirus, and represents the coronavirus piece of mine, because I call it Tired of Being Tired. And it's the epitome of what we're going through right now. And if I can just show you that piece. On the right, I guess is on your right in the purple. She's sitting on her trunk, reminiscing and worried about what tomorrow will bring, because she's an older person. She's tired of being tired. She's tired of being kept inside, but she's dealing with it. And so the title of that one is Tired of Being Tired. The one to the left is in the red dress, a younger woman, and it's just, woe be me. Can't go anywhere, can't do much. But she's sitting on top of a whiskey barrel. And she's got all her bracelets because she knows that she's not going anywhere. So why not put on all her jewelry? So she's got an armful of bracelets and earrings on, sitting on a whiskey barrel, wondering, when will this be over? So those are my two pieces that I've worked on during this time. And again, those two are finished. And I will be sending those into the marketplace.